get more of this shirt into the shot. Like, it's so cute. Such a vibe and a 90s moment. And I just want you all to see it. Hi friends. So you know when you have a day off and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be productive. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get shit done. And then 3 hours later you find yourself blacking back in, going through all of your drawers and trying to ad hoc reorganize and declutter all of your makeup. So I woke up thinking I was gonna film a nice leisurely video today, but I managed to procrastinate long enough to only give myself 2 hours and maybe a bit more before my friend arrives for the evening, and we're stressed. And if you think 2 hours sounds like a whole lot of time, it's not. Not for me anyway. I am not the fastest hand in the West when it comes to makeup, and I like to take my time. We only have a couple hours, but this is my only day to film, and I'm gonna do it come hell or high water, even though I tried to talk myself out of it several times before sitting down. I have a palette that I am so excited to play with today, and it's been sitting here for maybe months now, and I feel like I just have to give it its due. I believe we're going to start a palette potential with the Lois Cosmetics Meet Me at Midnight palette. I loved Meet Me in the Underworld so much. It was one of my favorites from last year. I have an entire palette potential series on it. You can find it up here, along with the full palette potential playlist. Hours and hours of content for your perusal. Please go check it out. So let's get the ball rolling with this palette with the first video. Try not to be too precious about it. Throw together a look that is a vibe, that makes me feel good, and something that I will feel comfortable wearing around my friend while we just sit on the couch and drink wine. So why don't we just play with some eyeshadow with the Lois Cosmetics Meet Me at Midnight palette, and let's get started. Folks, when I try to tell you that I am attempting to be on theme with this color story, I mean, so I believe this is Lois Cosmetics' third palette they've ever released. Correct me if I'm wrong. And yes, of course, Meet Me in the Underworld was a smash success. And of course, when I saw this color story, I had to bite. Look at this. Ugh, it is depth and dimension and mystery and smokiness. I think we're gonna focus mostly on the purples, maybe the navy blue down here. We'll definitely hit up more of this later on. So we only have 6 mattes in this palette and 10 shimmers. As to how all of these mattes work within the palette, especially if we're going to try and utilize every single shade, which I like to do in palette potential. I love palette potential. I love the fact that we have a series where we can do in-depth review with more than just one video per palette. I think it's really important to take a step back and try and utilize more of what you have before you go and pull the trigger on another palette. And with that, I think we should just get started because I am very rapidly running out of time. I slapped on some primer. Let's just get started. What I really want to do is be a little bit more precise with where I'm placing the shape. I find that if I create eyeshadow looks unchecked, I will just use the greatest amount of surface area and just blend the crap out of it, which is nice. I mean, we love a good blown out smoky moment, but sometimes I would like to utilize restraint. See if I can create something a little more dialed in or pared down, if that makes any sense. But I definitely feel like I want the outer edge to be a little bit more defined rather than just completely blown out. And I think I'll start with phase, which is something I'm very excited to dig into. Very on theme for today. I'm gonna start by just tapping it in the shape that I want. Basically just using this shade to trace. Like, I will never be a minimalist makeup person. I really appreciate the artistry of it. I really admire the people who can pull it off. But just some part of me never wants to fully adopt a minimalist routine. And I feel like modern makeup is really trending towards a cleaner silhouette when it comes to eyeshadow. Bright pops of pastel, clean lines, graphic liner, and like very little smokiness going on right now. And I kind of miss maximalist makeup. If I'm gonna wear makeup, I'm gonna wear makeup, you know what I mean? But here we are, trying to sort of bridge the gap. So far, so good. I really love the color of this shadow. It's a little bit dusty in the pan, but nothing too out of the ordinary, manageable. I feel like if you went to Euphoria High, you could just stop here and call it a day. How the hell in this fictional universe teenagers will get up at the ass crack of dawn to do a full beat to be at school by 8:30 a.m. is beyond me. Your girl couldn't even make it to her first class half the time. Okay, I like this so far. Let's deepen things up. I think I'll keep it in the cooler tone family and take it all the way down to Disturbed here, which is this nice French navy kind of shade. I think we can get really precise with this crease shape here. I'm pretty optimistic about how these darker shades are gonna work, since in the Underworld palette, their black might be one of my most favorite blacks ever to exist. So far blending really beautifully. Really trying to concentrate it on that outer third, as per usual, just for some contouring of the eye. And it's very on theme for the palette because it's kind of like the last few rays of sunset before it goes to that inky darkness of nightfall. And that is such a vibe. I'm gonna go back into phase just to bump that a little bit more. Wow, that is super gorgeous. Oh yeah, this is going well, she said optimistically. All right, I like where this is. I think I want to cut the crease and choose something to go on the lid. Just gonna throw on some glitter glue. Now here comes the fun part. Which of the many shimmers do we use? Definitely thinking Half Moon for sure. Possibly Inky just to tie in with that blue. Let's just take Half Moon on the finger and see what happens first. Very true to the previous formula. Very soft, satiny, nothing too over the top glittery. And then let's use Inky to blend into the blue. So far, this is really pretty, if I do say so myself. Half Moon does not have a lot of opacity to it, just FYI. That is so pretty though, wow. All right, I'm really liking where this is going. I think I'm gonna do this all on the other side, throw on my lashes, and figure out what to do with the lower lash line. It's looking very glamorous, very nighttime right now, and I'm kind of living for it, so I just don't wanna screw it up. So I'm gonna go have a think on that. And then when we come back, we will finish the rest of the look. Okay, other side is done, lashes are on. These are Lash Goals by Boldface, a classic here on the channel. They always just make my eyes look really wide. A look like this, I don't want it to get too bogged down and too heavy. I just think the color palette lends itself well to something light, airy, but still with enough drama to lift and elongate the eye as well. I really like how the lower lash line turned out. I tried to keep it pretty simple, and I always find that to open the eyes a little bit more, I use a little bit of NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk just under where the iris is. Just under here and here. So even if you want to tight line with black, which is what I did here on the outer and inner corner, just to tie in that inner corner flick that I did with the eyeshadow, I can still keep my eyes open and bright by adding just a touch of white. And for that inner corner flick, I just used that navy blue again. It worked really nicely. It took a little finessing because it's not the creamiest formula. So I did the cardinal sin of licking my brush before going in, and it worked. All right, I want to finish up the rest of the face. And so far, I really like how everything's come together. I'm kind of afraid to put on too much blush because I kind of like what it looks like without it, which is super rare for me. I'm thinking I'll just start off with something super neutral, hit up Divine Rose in here. I want this look to stay glam and not get too in the weeds, too matchy, too monochromatic. I feel like I do that a lot. So I'm trying to keep this a little more understated. And it's really hard to go overboard on this blush. I'm just gonna hit up the apple with a little bit of Cherish from the Divine Blush collection from Pat McGrath, just to add like that youthful flush to the center of the cheek. I truly love this blush. I am not a cool toned blush queen, but this just hits the spot for me. I don't know what it is. All right, here's something new and very bougie and completely unnecessary to my collection. But when I saw this compact, I had to have it. This is the Pillow Talk Multi Glow. I don't know if you can see the pan at all, but basically Charlotte Tilbury on steroids. I feel like the color is right for this look, and I have a feeling that if I focus on this side of it, it will give a really nice blend into that blush. I think I'm gonna try the same technique I used in the last video. Let's take a bigger, fluffier brush, tap it all over, and try and glaze it over the cheek. Ooh, yeah, I do like that. Not sure how I feel about the glitter, but she is looking like a glazed donut. That is not a bad thing. I'm gonna hit up the higher points with a smaller brush. I like how you can strategically use certain colors to be more precise, but then you can swirl the brush and use it more just as a general glow. Like, listen, it's so basic, but I still love. I can see myself using that a lot. All right, time for the eternal question. What the hell do I do with my lips? Might just be her today, you know? I want to finish off the look with How Many Carats, which is basically just a clear colorless base, but full of glitter. I think this might be the move. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, and it's in the shade Pearl, which is basically just clear gloss with white pearlescence. The Lifter Gloss is stunning. It's a nice dupe for the Fenty Gloss Bomb if it's just not in the cards for you right now to own a gloss bomb. I get it, they're like 20 bucks each. This is pretty good. Let's spray her down. All right, and like I said, let's finish it off with a little diamond bomb. Okay, just to add a touch of brightness, I'm just gonna pop a little bit right on the inner third. All right, folks. This is the look all done. What do you guys think? I am kind of in love with this look. I feel so pretty. I definitely wore the right shirt to the shoot. I feel like this is about as close as you're gonna get to a Euphoria high look for me. And even then, it's still a bit too much. You know what I mean? I feel like I would wear this look to an event. Like if I had to dress up and look really glamorous, but still wanted to feel fresh and not bogged down, this is something I would pull together. I love how for me, this is minimal blush. Just 2 blushes today instead of 3, you know? We're trying to rein it in. I also did all my contouring with cool tones instead of warm tones, so that definitely helps neutralize this whole glam a bit, which I think lends itself well to the cool tones on the eyes, which I love. I am loving this so far. Very on par with Meet Me in the Underworld so far. The mattes are a little dusty in the pan, but honestly, not a huge deal on the lid. They are really easy to control. They build up nicely. I think they have a little bit more pigmentation than the Underworld mattes so far. We'll see how the rest of it goes. The shimmers, of course, in true Lois Cosmetics fashion, they are very soft. So far, nothing super over the top, glittery, metallic, but if you're a fan of this kind of shimmer, which for a person with more mature eyelids like myself, it definitely helps with the whole textured lid thing that happens when you're using an incredibly intense metallic or glitter eyeshadow. So everything just looks really bright and open and soft, and nothing is too in your face about this. Disturbed? Ooh, in no way is this an intimidating dark shade. It just went on so easily. I was able to control it, manipulate it, build it up to an opacity that I really liked. It blends so beautifully with that light shade phase. These two are a match made in heaven. I'm in love with Inky as a shimmer. I would love to work with it more. So I'm really excited to pick this up again. I would love to know your thoughts. Which shadows would you like to see next from this little guy? I'm all ears. Also, not mad at this. Not mad that I picked it up purely for the packaging and the embossing. I really like how everything blends together, but I am especially fond of this end, especially if you're keeping the look all cool tones. And also, it's nice to have both options. Something a little bit more warmer champagne and something a little bit more cool toned rosy pink. It kind of has everything, and it's a really nice texture. Very glazed and not super glittery or reflective, but it is very posh, you know. All right, I think that's everything for me. My friend Devin should be here any minute, so I'm going to very hastily wrap this up and put my apartment back together. So I'm going to love you and leave you, but before I do, please let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any and all engagement with this video is crucial to its success in the algorithm. So if you have a few spare seconds, please engage with this video. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. Also, just so you know, in the description box below, I leave a couple of organizations that you can support. Just the ones that I have donated to recently is usually the ones that I will put down there. And with that, folks, please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, keep wearing those masks, get vaccinated if you can, get boosted if you can. Just keep doing your best, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Living downtown. So many joys. And then like 3 hours later, you find it's just so unnecessary, you know?